Good morning, everybody. There is a ton to go over today. I'm going to get this link out to a couple different places, and then we can begin. There's just a litany to go over, so let's just start. But to kind of go through what's going on here, Merck's comments today are huge, and they're going to have far-reaching effects for the market. And I think it's really important to understand that. And I do want to go over it. Just give me 1 second to get these links out, and then we'll go from there. And just make sure everybody comes in. That way we don't have to stop and start and rehash the same stuff. But just to jump into it here, this is good morning. So this is really big news, and it's definitely worth going over. So I'm just going to start with the news, and then people can rewatch this if they want. But let's just start here. Okay. So Merck came out and said that they have an oral drug that they are literally stopping. Let's get rid of all this. They're literally stopping phase 3 and going right to EMA, which is emergency use authorization, right? By doing that, it's going to be a game changer for a lot of these drug companies, but it's also a game changer for the economy. So what you're going to see here with this stock is we're definitely going to bid up on this. There's very little question about that. The question is where do we wind up going with it as far as the stock, right? And because that's really what our focal point is. And you can kind of see that line there is completely broken. Okay. So my argument would be this, and this is where I will look for it. Okay. If I can get a shot at $79 today on that, I would be all over this. So that's definitely something where I would be looking for this. Now, you have to think about this for a minute, and you have to think about what are the ramifications for this. And I posted it on Twitter, so you can read about it yourself. I don't want to go into all the efficacies and everything. But if someone could take this pill versus getting a vaccine, and it's going to just change the game. It's going to change everything, frankly. So that's my opinion of it. It will take time, but it's going to happen. So let's just focus on what does that really mean. It means a couple things. One, it means that you now have something that can spur the economy on. It now means that maybe the travel restrictions get lifted in certain places that weren't lifted before. It means that companies like this do not have the only key. Okay, so all of a sudden, how are you going to tell someone and mandate a vaccine when they can take a pill? Okay, you can't. It's not going to work the same way right now. So we've been short this since here for those that have been watching this or following along or that are in the community. And I've been a proponent of shorting it. I had no idea why it was doing what it was doing, but this break, any rally, this should be shorted. Okay, if you're looking for how to benefit from what's going on here, any rally that should be shorted, any rally on this should be shorted. Okay, breaking down here, this was a clear sign that was it. I'm just going to leave the 50-day in. So these are just outright shorts right now. Okay, they're not the only game in town. They were the only game in town before. The other one that could have an issue, and I will take questions today, but there's a lot that I really want to address. Johnson & Johnson's going to have massive issues as well. Not to the same tune because they're not a one-trick pony. But these stocks could get halved. Like this could get really ugly. It'd be nothing to see this stock drop 40 or 50 points on this news, right? I mean, it'd be nothing. So they're not the only game in town anymore, and people are going to blow them out. NVAX, they're going to have an issue, okay? See how they're all breaking their 50-day? That's institution selling. All three are perma shorts. Right. So just keep that in mind. Could they bounce? Absolutely. But what this company's doing and what they're going to do, and you can already see it's bidding up, this is going to game change. Now, that said, happy Friday, everyone. That said, let me just go through this. This section, I think the NASDAQ can bounce the most, but this is where you're going to start seeing all of this. Okay, you're going to start seeing jets, right? You're going to start seeing that reverse. See where it closed? See where you're open? So now you go to the best balance sheets. Okay, here are the best balance sheets. All right, so you just might want to take notes on this. ALK has one of the best balance sheets out there. Okay. Usually that it bounces the most because it's the strongest balance sheet, but all of them are going to benefit. The other group that's going to benefit from this is going to be anything energy related. Okay. Because the energy now is going to go up in cost. So you're going to see energy stocks move on this as well. Okay. So you're going to want to look at casinos such as this, right? Or such as Caesars. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I would really be looking at stuff like this. I think that this stuff could really move. And I don't think it's going to be a one-day event on this, but I think that you just have to watch your trades here, but this could really move on this news. So let's just keep that in mind. So that's really what I want to go over. I will go over this with the Qs. I said that you need to watch this area. We could bounce, but we just have to watch it. We could also fade again, but the Merck news and what I just went over, that's not going to be a one-day hit. So that's it. That's what I have to go over. I'll take questions on it if you want to go over questions, but it's really big news. So let's just get to it. So Tesla and Ford. So for me, Tesla has just been a monster. It's one of the things I showed yesterday. I was trying to get people to understand it. This is where we're in from the newsletter. But I was just trying to get people to understand something. Show me a tech stock that's above the 8-day moving average right now. Okay, you can't. There's not one. There's no other tech stock, right? And to me, it's a technology company, right? They have the smartest cars out there. It's all tech driven, right? So, yeah, is there an issue? Yeah, your issue's right here. You're fighting it, right? But here, let's do it this way. Sorry. Drop this down. So, yeah, you're fighting this area right here. I'll just leave it there. Same area, roughly. But you're still fighting this area. But, yeah, this looks to me like we're going back to here. I've been saying it for some time. We've been in this now for over a month. So I still think we're heading back to 900. Earnings are coming up October, right? October 20th, 20 days. So, yeah, I like it a lot. Ford, I love showing Ford. It gives me the opportunity to show this chart one more time. For those that have long-term accounts that want to buy things and just go home and forget what they own, look at what this did on the monthly. Okay, and Ford monthly, it's not something that I went over, but for me, this is where you're at today, right? Okay, this is September. So for me to tell you that, you could buy this and have 2 points of risk because you're not going to take this out or this out probably now. You're definitely not going to take this out and not have it continue to go down. So right now, that puts you at a great spot, okay? I like the name a lot. How many stocks this month took out a higher high and closed at a higher high? Okay, how many stocks, right? Not many. So just consider that. And let's just keep going. So happy Friday. Good morning, Ken. Morning, Lucas. All right, let's get to it. ZM, ALGN, and Hubs. So stocks like ZM to me are probably going to take a hit today. I could be wrong. Maybe they'll bounce on the news, but yeah, they're bouncing on the news. I'm not really sure why, but maybe it's just short covering. But this bounce, could it work? Yeah, it could work. You could bounce here. You've undercut this low right here and gone from here. So yes, you could bounce today on short covering. Any rally, I would be selling this. I don't think you're getting through 300 anytime soon. Let me put it to you that way. So in regards to that, it's not something that I would focus on. ALGN, I would just avoid. I would just completely and utterly avoid that. And what was the other one that you wanted to address? Hubs. Hubs was in the top 10 list. And I really think that you need to take a look at this. But, you broke down and you're sitting here. You're not really breaking, right? You're still not broken on Hubs, okay? And there's a couple trend lines, major trend lines, that have not broken. That's a major trend line, So I really like this name. I think this might be providing an opportunity. Okay, you can even go here and look at that and say that this is an anomaly, right? And look at where you're stopping. Okay, so I like it. What would get me out of that name at this level is if I broke the 50-day moving average. Other than that, I like the name a lot, and it's definitely one that you need to look at. So, yeah, I'm happy to do Bitcoin today, Jack, and get into this. So let's talk about what's going on here, because this is actually pretty big news. That's an enormous break, okay, to the upside. So, and I'll say it again, that's an enormous break to the upside. This is a huge bar, okay, one huge bar that has now gotten us to the top of this, right, which is exactly what you need to do to get rid of the first bear flag. And look where you're sitting. You're still above it. Okay, so you could push. Okay. You could push to here. Okay. And what you're saying is, you see how you're wedged in here? Okay, you're breaking out. So Bitcoin could go back to that 52 level and test. Now, what does that mean? Well, you can kind of take a look at the others and figure out how you're going to benefit from that. This went right to the 50 and pulled back, and it didn't break this level. So therefore, this has become stronger again. And therefore, this could outperform. Okay, so you just have to watch this level and watch this 47,250 level. We seem to be breaking it and getting through that. And all those stocks that are associated with that should also continue to move. So let's see, AMPY energy name. AMPY. Yeah, I mean, these names have just been on fire, right? These smaller names. There's not really much to say about it. I have a hard time buying something up here when it could just come back down to here on a whim, right? That's my issue with it. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just simply saying that I think you need to be aware of that. So like here, look, right? I mean, you can easily come to that level and nothing would be broken. You could come to this back to here and nothing would be broken. So, that's a big drop for me to want to be involved in something like that. I can throw the 21 in too, and we can look at it that way, but it's not something I'd be chasing. On pullbacks, you'd have my attention. On pullbacks, I'd be very interested in it. But other than that, now it's not something that I'm going to chase at all. It's just not something I'd be interested in chasing. So, yes, Robert, they should all benefit. TNA, yes, I'm long TNA, if that tells you anything. But airlines, casinos, yes, all of it, everything I went over. I think, Darren, that they absolutely. Now, they might bid up because of the short squeeze, and they've gotten hammered. Like these stocks, I don't know if you remember this, Darren, but like this is where we talked about like putting a short on it when it broke that 50-day. Like these stocks have gotten hammered. So, they've been great short positions. I mean, you haven't even had a day where you had to worry about it yet. What I would look for is your first higher high. Okay, that means that you've probably cleaned out some of the sellers and that you could bounce. And maybe you bounce to the 21 or you bounce to the 8. I don't know. But, when people start understanding, and to me, the move is pretty muted on what we're seeing today. I would point something out. You're seeing a shift already from the Q starting to drop to the IWM becoming the leading index, and then the SPY. Let me put on recently viewed. I apologize. I know that people write these down and take a look at what we've gone over during the day. But what I would suggest here is, at the end of the day, what you really want to see is you really want to see how these are going to act. And to me, this could absolutely unequivocally bounce on this news. There's no question about it. I'm just going to go down on this a little bit so people can see already what's going on. And I expect this to get, maybe they bounce and you get a better chance to short them, but I think that they're going to continue to drop pretty precipitously. So this is where you're at, but yes, you could bounce on this. But long term, yeah, I think it's a short now. I mean, you have to realize the game changed. If you could go out there and tell somebody that you take a pill now, if you get sick and you take a pill and you have a 50% chance of not going to the hospital, people are going to be less fearful, right? They're going to be less fearful. Tell AMC AFMR. So, and now they have to talk about how effective it is versus the variant and things like that. But I'm assuming it's going to be pretty robust if they're this excited about it. Look, you're riding that 8-day moving average after running up. That's exactly what you want to see. Okay, so you see this little wedge line right here? Wait for you to break that wedge line, and then this will be your first test back to 450. So yes, this could bounce here, and it's holding in there very nicely. It really is. So that could work. As far as AMC, you're going to need to get some momentum here. We're just having a hard time with it. Everyone got excited because we went up yesterday. I mean, it's really kind of funny. Like, if you've been in the stock for 2 weeks, let's get rid of this. If you've been in the stock for the past 2 weeks, you've gotten decimated, but we're supposed to be excited because we're up for one day. Yeah, I'm not overly excited by that. Let's see some follow through, right? And then I'll get excited. All I see is a stock that went right to resistance, right? Like, look, all we did was go right to resistance, right? Same level that we pretty much closed at here, same level that high here, and then you rejected, same as this level right here, right? I mean, you can see this going across if I just put it right here, right? So that's not really exciting to me. I rejected again. So, people might be excited over this. Let's see how it goes. So let's see follow through. Affirm to me looks like it could go today. Affirm over this level, 121.27 gets very interesting to me. So, it's definitely something I would be looking at, without a doubt. There's no question about it. I like that a lot. So maybe it does. Maybe that's why it bounces. I think everything could bounce today on this news. I think I'm surprised the move's so muted so far. In my opinion, it's muted. I don't think people are thinking this through completely yet, which is kind of good. Sometimes that happens, or people are gun shy because we all think, we're looking at the market coming in. But I don't think people are really fully grasping this news yet, at all. That's just my opinion. So again, I could be wrong. So let's just move this over here. And shrink this down. Hold on one second. All right. Okay. So let's just keep going here. There's so much to go over. INSP, look, right to this 235 and you broke. You got to watch that level, put these indicators in. Just watch this level. This is really big. And it's definitely something where, you need to watch what's going on here. Like I'd be careful with that level because it's not doing what we need it to do, right? You're going to need to see this. You're going to really need to see this continue. So let's just keep going here. You need to get something going here. You're just not getting anything going. You broke down and that's the end of it. So let's just see how that plays out. And again, as I was saying, and you're starting to see these break down even more, right? So just FYI, I do think that could get pretty bad for those names. Let's just keep going. MDB. Hold on one second here. Okay, I just switched something on another screen. MDB I like a lot. let's go through this, get back on track here. Okay. So you really just pulled right down to this support level. That's all you've done, right? And the 8 and the 21 have crossed, and that's not the greatest news in the world. But it's definitely something where you really want to just kind of focus on what's really happening here. And for me, I think that you could bounce here and you could get back to this 515 level. All you've done is trade in this range, right? That's all you've done here. So it's not like a be all end all. It's not like it's over. You're just basing. So I think that's how you have to look at it. I mean, that's all you're doing is basing. So it's not something where I would sit there and panic over, but this might be where you buy it as it forms this huge flag and then trades back up, maybe a higher high, and then see how it reacts to these levels. Maybe that's something to do. But this is definitely something I'd be interested in, to say the least. So, I like that stock a lot. I really do. TMC, start blowing through these now. I wouldn't go near this. I'd run away screaming. I don't know if there's something going on there that you know about, but I wouldn't go near that. Long-term Twilio. Twilio long-term fundamentally is a fantastic company that's not going anywhere, right? As far as corporations. Stock-wise, you have some issues here, don't you? Like, that's not a beautiful chart. Like, falling wedges are bearish, but they can keep falling. So you have to wait. Like, you're below the 50, you're below the 8. Are you below the 200? Yeah, I would not be like, once I break a 200, I'm very rarely in a trade. I may have broken it, tried to buy it back, breaks again. I'll just keep getting stopped out. I don't care if it's something I want to be in. But when it closes below it, I'm gone. And this usually is what transpires. So you can get to 275, 280 pretty quickly here. So I would watch that. I'd watch that very, very closely. Okay. I mean, Merck can go a lot higher. How far is a company going to go that brings back the economy? Right? You have to realize something, right, Terry? And it's a good question, because let's review this. The reason that these stocks move so much, the reason that like BNTX, besides the amount of money that they were going to make, move so much is because they became necessary, right? This became necessary to get this. You needed to get a vaccine. So, for your job, I don't want to get into the political aspects of this. What I'm getting at is people wanted a vaccine. Now you're being told that, hey, we have a pill that you can take. Okay. These can get absolutely decimated on that because people don't like, let's just do the basics. If you have the option of getting a needle or taking a pill, and maybe they're not as effective, you're probably going to take the pill. So I think that that's really something to look at and think about, right? So where does that stock go? I think it can go a lot higher. They can go a lot higher. I mean, you're not even at the level that you were back in September yet, before the drug. So let's take a look at it this way. Where can we get to? I don't see any reason why you can't get back to $92. I really don't. I mean, it's going to be a blockbuster drug, right? We all know that. We all know it's going to be a blockbuster. So, I think you can get back up to the high of the, of the chart. And I understand it's a larger company than, the BNTXs and the mRNAs of the world. But overall, look, let me just show you something. Let me try to explain what I'm talking about here so you can kind of get it. Hold on. Okay. You can't even lift on this, right? This can't even lift, right? That's how bad people want to get out of these. Like they can't even bounce. Okay. So, and that's because of this company. So how high can it go? I think you can get to the 90s in a little bit of time, right? People are going to be cutting their exposure to the vaccine names and they're going to put it somewhere. So, news. Good morning. Morning, Justin. I don't know that it could. I don't know that it could put a bottom in the market. I know that it could definitely put a bottom in casino stocks. Let me put it to you that way. I think it could put a bottom in the market in certain areas. Yeah, I do. I think it could put a bottom in the market in some areas. I really do believe that, yes. So the question just boils down to what markets, and really, I really think casinos is one of them. So I really do. I believe that that you could see that. Hold on one second here. Just keep going. Let's leave that there. So bear with me. I'm just focused on a couple of things this morning. There's a lot going on. So how high could this go? Where could we go because of that? I mean, if you're a casino, you might not be inclined to even have a mask mandate right now, right? So, you might not be inclined to do that. So, there's a lot of really strong moving parts to this that you really are going to have to take into account. And let's start running through all these because I know I'm behind. I think you really have to understand what this means and how big it is. It's absolutely huge. And I really don't like the BNPXs of the world and all this. As people start truly getting this, I think that they're going to wind up coming in. I think they're going to wind up really getting hit a lot more than people think they are. So, we're going to have to see how that goes. But I don't think that these are down anywhere near as much as they're going to be down. I cannot stress this enough. EXPI just absolutely, is that the one you asked, or EXPE? EXPI just absolutely shellacked, right? Broke here and just came all the way down. Clearly, there's a seller when this is getting up there. You're seeing that, right? Left and right. You're just seeing somebody dump the stock over and over again. So I would definitely watch this. It's not something that I would be, really comfortable saying that you need to, be long at this point. This really concerns me. We broke the 200 here. You couldn't hold that. You're breaking down. It's a shame because it just broke out so perfectly. But this is the kind of market you're in, right? Where that's what's happening. We're just breaking down left and right. And then this is what you're dealing with. So that can continue. So let's just keep going. AEHR. If I missed your symbol, please throw it back in. I know I'm going through a lot today. I like this. I think it's going to hold 1350. If it doesn't hold 1350 and it breaks down below this level, you can just get out of it. I mean, it's going to be that simple. Other than that, I would just continue to stay with it. If I was long this, and I will throw this caveat out here, I did start a small position yesterday and I still have it. I do like the name. So CEI, for those that are trying to figure out the Merck news, it's all in the beginning of this. So you can just rewind it and watch it there. It's a lot to go over again. So CEI, look what you're doing this morning, right? You're down to here. I mean, maybe you bounce, maybe you don't. I would look for a pattern. I would wait till you have some kind of pattern. And when you do, I would get involved. I would get really involved. But I really think that this can continue to go. This is not, look, this range and this bounce change the game and make it look like you can consolidate in here and go higher. I don't understand how they're related energy-wise, but something like this, energy stocks, I think energy stocks at the end of the year could continue to move. So it's definitely something that I would watch and see if you get that opportunity. No, I mean, I have no problem getting a shot, Boca. I mean, I don't even want to go down this road, but I know what you're saying. But for people, yeah, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer to realize that you don't need to be vaccinated. There's a treatment that works. So let's see this. In the mid cap trading begins October 5th. Is requiring them. Okay. So SPWR, let's do that one. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that you're getting in that, you probably continue to go. Now, that was after hours, right? So, really, what you would be looking for is if you can get back to where you were at any point during the day by putting an order in and capturing that, that's really like the best way to do this trade, like as close to the close or the high as you possibly can. That's really what you want to do. Okay. That's how I would play it. Hey, Steve. Sophie? I didn't know they had a Sophie Stadium. I saw that last night watching the game. I mean, this is pretty textbook stuff, right? So you ran right to the high here, okay? And then what happened? Right? So just consider that for a moment. You ran right to this, right to the 200-day, rejected your 200-day and rejected this level. Now, maybe you hold the 50, right? Maybe you hold that 50. It looks like it's going to try to hold the 50, right? You see that? So maybe it does. I don't have an answer for you on that just yet. So we're going to have to see. That said, let's just keep going. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Good morning, Lightspeed and FIVN. So let's just do FIVN and then we'll do Lightspeed. FIVN. Now, I would not go near this. This break of the 200-day, and look at this right here, right? Look at that. Yeah, I would not be going near that. I just wouldn't. I'd be waiting, watching and waiting. Like, look at your, I mean, you broke that. You're going to here. You're going to test that area. Just a question of, when. So I would really watch that. And in regards to, let's just keep going. LSPD. So, yeah, I mean, you can't go near this. Like, could you bounce here? Sure. Could there be a bounce in this? Sure, there could. And I would sell on the bounce. Like, you see how you're getting down here? You're starting to get to a level. It can always go lower and get worse, like it did here, right? So, but you're getting to that level. The best way to look at this when you look at RSI is to look for historic levels on where it stopped. So, like if you're out here a year and you find a level and it stopped there, chances are it may stop there again. And you can kind of use that as a level. I mean, that's one way to do that. Okay. So, but other than that, I mean, you need to see something there. You can't just buy that. Apple, ABRA. So Apple, just caveat, I have a position in it through options and stock. Look, it looks awful right now. How long it looks awful for going into the Christmas season? I'm not so sure. So I like it. I'm going to continue to hold the position. It does not look good. But, when you have a false, you have a false H pattern, if that's what that turns into, it's not going to look that bad. And frankly, I don't feel like trying to keep putting the position on and off. So, I'm just going to have to see how that trades, but I'm comfortable with it. I'm really comfortable with it. And let's just go ABRA. ABRA. ARBA. Nope, I don't have that symbol. So maybe I typed it in wrong. You're welcome, buddy. Let's go through HUT. I was asked about that earlier, and somehow I skipped over it. I jumped somewhere in the chat, to just FYI. Yeah, I mean, this I get. Like, look, from here up, yes, this could absolutely go. There's no question about it. This could absolutely run back to these levels. And this is just starting the turn here. So there's no reason not to look at that one. If you think Bitcoin's going to go, okay, if you think Bitcoin's going to go, then this could go, right? I mean, that's how you have to look at it. If you truly think that way, and what I would try to do is try to get as close to 8.5 as I could. But I think that could absolutely continue to move. So just FYI. Let's just keep going. So, hey, Cameron, URINUE cat. So let's just start here. URI. So, I mean, there's not much to say here. It looks great. It's acting great. But when you get up to this level, you seem to have an issue, right? So you're going to have to see if you continue to have this issue or you don't have this issue. Right now, you're continuing to have that issue, and that's not where you want to be. So, just watch it. But, it's definitely not where you want to be. And so just consider that, okay? I'd be really cautious there, because when this market reverses, and it will, they might sell the industrial kind of names, right? And buy buy tech. But overall, it looks great. You just got to get through that level. Now, cat, that 200 level was it. I mean, and you can see what I'm talking about. And I would argue that people that, if you're newer to trading, use this 200-day as your be-all, end-all, I have to get out on a 200-day moving average, because once you break that, you're done. I mean, it's the last bastion for bulls, for any bulls. And most institutions won't even buy a stock that's below that. They'll wait for it to come down and for the 200 to catch up to it. I would avoid that, or it's just a short, frankly. And I don't even know that I would short it, because it's already come down 50 points and what it is. And so it's hard. Nucor is steel, if I'm not mistaken. I would avoid this completely. I really don't think that you're getting this infrastructure bill in any form whatsoever. And this stock had an enormous run up on that news, enormous run up. So did X, right? I mean, all these stocks they had enormous run ups on that news. And, I don't see them going anywhere except down. I think it's just, it's one of those things where it'll be a time and it'll just slowly trade down, but that's the way I think it's going. So, IGT ran too much testing part at the house ready to launch. Let's take a look. So, IGT, look, I don't see a problem here. I mean, what's the problem? Like, you should be breaking out here. Now, what would concern me? Let's go back to this chart. Okay, see this bar right here, Justin? What's that called? It's called the long-legged doji, right? Because I'm open and closed right around the same point, and I got a long leg here and a long leg here. And what does that signify usually, a long-legged doji, right? I mean, that's what we kind of have to think about. What does that usually signify? That usually signifies what to us? That usually signifies that we're going to have some uncertainty there, right? So if we know that we're going to have some uncertainty, that's something that we probably should be concerned about. Okay. And that's really how we need to view it. So that's how I would concern myself with that. I wouldn't be jumping into that. So PALT and STEM. So yeah, I mean, you're just gambling. Could it work? Sure. But you're just gambling. I mean, what you're going to have to watch is, I'm going to do this on pre-market, because these kinds of names, you need to use the pre and post market. I mean, these are the levels you want to see, because these are the points where you have a ton of selling, right? Not a little selling. You have a ton of selling up here, right? And I mean, I could show you how I know that, but we only have so much time. But these are your points. So this is what you have to watch. Okay. Other than that, I wouldn't be getting into that until then. Microsoft, Microsoft broke its 50-day moving average. To me, it could easily trade back up to here and then sell back down again, right? You could easily, trade up to here and then sell back down again. So you're going to really have to watch that. Okay. Yep. You know what? Let's go here. Ethan, what's up, Ethan? So should we need to break down the H leg from May? I mean, here's the thing, Ethan, with something like this, right? Is that, yeah, I mean, when you came out with those earnings, Okay. I mean, this chart looks exactly like what? This looks exactly, let's get rid of all this. And we can get rid of all this and just see, it's important to start recognizing patterns. See this breakdown and how we went to here, right? Now let's look at this. Okay. And I know completely different companies, but let's do this. Okay. See this pattern? See how you broke here and that was it? Then they gave us the head fake and we never closed over. And then look what happens. Okay. Same pattern. They're done. They're done until they start earning again. And the comps for companies like Chewy and Pins for the next couple of months, I mean, are they going to be a pandemic levels? How are they going to be I'm just playing devil's advocate. They're not going to be a pandemic levels. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, any rally, I'd be shorting that if I was, inclined to be a long-term short person. Yeah, do me a favor, please like this and please click the subscribe button. The reason I do this is to educate people on what it takes to be truly successful trading. And I'm trying to get in front of as many people as humanly possible. So INMD. So, I mean, here, let's throw these in. Okay. So see these big long bars down and how you bounced off of it? It's very important, but they need time. That needs time to develop. So you're going to have to let this develop. Okay. You're just going to have to let it develop and it's not fully developed yet. And so you're going to have to let that take place and develop. There's really no other way to say it. I keep checking because I have a short position on. That's why I keep moving the position. You got to let that develop, Nicholas. It's not ready. That red bar is in charge. This nasty long red bar is still in charge, man. You got to let it settle. Hey, Marty. Good morning. Hope all is well in New York. Yeah, you're welcome, Rob. I did. You just got to watch it. I'm not crazy about it here. This is nowhere near capitulation. This is like a warm bath compared to capitulation. Hi, Root. I didn't. I don't believe I did. Hold on. Did I cover this one already? No, I didn't cover UPST. So UPST, UPST to me, here's your wedge line, and I'm starting to break, and I'm not crazy about it. So let's see how we do today. I'm not even bouncing, which maybe that's a good thing, but I haven't had the sell-off. I haven't had any sell-off. I was talking about this yesterday to somebody. The two stocks that I'm very interested in is this because there's just no sell-off. And I said that about Tesla as well. Even these high flyers that crushed like this had a huge sell-off. So, and we're just not seeing that at all. So, we really just have to watch this and see how it plays out here. Thanks, Riff Raff. I appreciate that. You're welcome, buddy. That'd be great. I eat. I'm a carnivore, so that would be awesome. So, in regards to it, I'm going to go through the list because I feel like I missed people. And, let's just go through this because I think this is an important caveat that's kind of going to be missed today. I was asked this earlier. Do I think this could trade up? Yeah, I do. I think this can trade up. Just watch your levels. But yes, this can trade up to 630, 660. Yeah, it absolutely can move. You start looking at the other names that got beaten down. This came right to the 200-day and is flipping. So, if you could, as close as you could get this to, 3250, you might want to look at it. It might not be the worst idea in the world. If you can get that at 3250 with a 31 stop, that's not a bad idea here. Okay. So let's just keep that in mind. Knee. I felt like I missed one, Boca. I thought I missed one. So if I missed you, please let me know and we'll cover it because I've covered everything I wanted to cover. You're just sitting right in here. I think we're good. I have a position in this, FYI, just disclosure. I think we're good. I mean, look, we're not going to light the world on fire with this. I don't think we're going to double, but I think we're going to make some money. So let's see what else I have here that's going on. So any more questions here that you want me to go over? Any names you want me to go over, or I can continue to do it and show you what I'm looking at. But look, see STEM here, right? You got to get over this. You're having major issues with it, you know. And also, let me just point this out. You know, I do want to go over this so people can understand this. This is the semiconductor index. Okay? This doesn't reverse in a day. So, you know, there's one thing that there's one point I was trying to get and hammer home. Okay. Like, and hopefully I'm doing it like this, like IWM. Okay. It very well might be time for small caps to lead. I'm not saying you're not going to bounce in certain names, but it might be time for small caps to lead and kind of go from there, you know, and just see what happens. But let's just see how that goes. You know, but I really like the small cap space here, especially on this news. People are grossly underestimating this news, in my opinion. They just are, you know. You really haven't had something that, even if they're vaccinated, now there's a treatment for it. I don't understand that. Hold on, let's go here. LOB. Hey, know you. So, you know, LOB. You know, this is a small regional bank, right? No, I showed this chart yesterday. Not this chart, but something similar. I mean, you could play this. I would argue that you play this. And I know Boca's not crazy about this, but I would be playing this instead and, you know, trading this, because when this gets going, you own all the regional banks at a 3x ETF level. It's more diversified with more upside. It's just a crazy trading name. But if you're looking at just buying this particular bank because you like that particular regional bank, you know, I mean, you're kind of there, but you're really going to trade back up to like 72 if that's what you're looking for. But it's heading that way, isn't it? Right? It's definitely heading that way. So let's go here. Hey, Terry, I understand the Merck news is positive, but the economic debt government issues, they're not going away. You've seen them. If you go through that monthly candle, where you haven't seen them is you haven't seen them at the high of that market. I'm not saying it's over. What I'm saying is that some bloodbaths might go away because of this. I've been saying for some time, right, in the past 2 weeks, Terry, in the newsletters, like, I'm trying not to use my bias, but I've been saying this in the newsletters for weeks to go to cash, raise cash. Maybe we're progressing, maybe we're not progressing. Like you can, if you learn how to read the context of what I'm putting down, right? I mean, have you had one of these before? Yeah, you had a bearish engulfing here, right? You had a bearish engulfing here. You had a bearish engulfing here, one here. So sometimes these bearish engulfings, right? They end with an inside day and then push higher. Sometimes these bearish engulfings don't do that and they sell down drastically. I'm inclined to believe that we're going to sell down more just because of the position that we're in and breaking this trend line. So I'm of that position, but you know, the Merck news could still drive certain sectors up, and it's definitely going to crush other sectors. Like, I think it's absolutely going to crush, Moderna, and I think Merck is going to crush Moderna, and it's going to crush BNTX. I mean, you have to think about it from that perspective that you're now in a position where you're going to be like, well, I'll just take the pill, right? And I'm not talking about science. I'm not a scientist, right? I'm far from it. But what I'm getting at is now you have that mentality, right? So based upon that mentality, that's something that you're definitely going to want to think about. So let me go through the rest of this. I don't think it's totally done now. APRN. I'm going to have to wrap up at 9:15 here. I got to hop back in the community, and I have a ton to do trading-wise this morning, like a ton. So, so you break here, and you look great. Look, this fix that they did with this private equity move, okay, it obviously empowered the company. Okay, and now you're above the 200-day and going higher. I haven't read the report on this yet. Okay, my sense of this and the way that this is moving is that this could absolutely 100% continue. And that's what I would be looking for. This could 100% continue. I'd be looking for a pullback like here and then entering, the other day if I wanted to be in this. But this is not over. You just have to start understanding the story. Was it refinancing of debt? Why did they do the private placement? Why ever they did it, it's working, right? So just FYI. Right. Exactly. Now, even if you're vaxxed, you get COVID, take the pill now. Now you're not that concerned. Now the people that are concerned, like my mom, and I'm not saying this for any reason, she is vaccinated, but she gets COVID now. Now there's a pill. Now she's going to feel a little bit safer about going to a restaurant inside, right? Everybody's different, man. We just have to respect everybody's opinions. Zebra and IIPR. I am stalking IIPR. ZBRA to me has kind of broken down, and I'd watch that. To me, it's tech, and tech seems to be cracking. So I would watch that one. IIPR, I am all over. I'm just waiting for a sign. I don't know if you traded this one with us or not, Gaithry, but this is one that we were all over in the newsletter and ran up and did exceptionally well with. I'm stalking it, but I'm just not there with what I see right here. I'm just not there yet. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But listen, I have to get here. I don't know that it's over or not. I got to jump back in the room. Everybody have a great day. As always, please subscribe to this channel and please click notifications so that you know when we log on. And if you need anything and there's things you don't want to talk about, just email me there. Okay? Everybody have a great day.